Hey, friends, welcome back to the Faith to Impact podcast. So I just stumbled there a second because I was like, wait, what matters most? Like, oh, yeah, that's the mini summit I'm doing. Anyway, so like Faith to Impact, so I'm used to saying what matters most. I recorded some videos yesterday, so super excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And today I'm going to talk about why negativity sucks. Okay. And I know that sounds really ironic because to me, sucks is kind of a negative word. So, but I believe, I believe that like negativity sucks. And, part of the backstory behind this is, I've started to learn more about how I can make my content better and how I can show up better online and things like that. And I've been reading an amazing book called Expert Secrets from Russell Brunson, and it's really about creating a movement more than just a product or an offer, but like really doing that. And so I'm really excited for that and be able to continue to go forward and make this happen. And so I know that this is definitely a journey, and it's something that I'm continuing to get better at, continuing to learn different things. But one of the things I was learning about is the idea of being prolific and about polarity. And so, prolific basically means that it's something that you have this like inventiveness around you, that you're continuing to come up with new ideas, with new ways to look at things and things like that. And then, polarity is something where when you are like, a good example of this is like Democrats versus Republicans, or like Trump versus Biden. There's a lot of people that hate Trump. There's a lot of people that love Trump, right? And so like he's very polarizing in that way. It's not like you're like, kind of one way or the other. You're pretty much just like somewhat you love him or you hate him and that type of stuff. And so, polarity. And, Trump is actually a very polarizing person as well. Like the things that he says and that he does, he rubs people the wrong way and the right way at the same time. You know what I mean? And so it's like he has these true fans. And so I've been learning about this, and I've struggled with this in the past because I've heard about, okay, well, what does that mean for me? Because I feel like I'm focusing on what matters most, on faith, on family, on making an impact. And it just feels like all these really good things, right? And so it's like, I don't like, do I want to like talk about negative things or, like shoot, like throw rocks at, anyways, just things like that. And so it got me thinking though, like as I started to think through that, what are the different things that I really stand for and that this show is all about? And it's got me thinking, and it really had me like figuring some of this stuff out. And like, wow, actually, yeah, it's really powerful to be bold and to stand out in some of these different ways. And so that's why, to me, it's ironic, that we're talking, I'm talking about how negativity sucks today. But again, I'm really looking for ways that I can continue to do that. And so as I was making this list, it was interesting and so anyways, a little bit of backstory there, but excited to, talk about why negativity sucks, because I feel like it just does. I feel like it doesn't help, and what's interesting is a lot of people that know me well, they know that I'm very positive. Like and it's funny because, some people may think, oh, well, you probably just like born like an optimist. You're just born with like positivity. But I actually remember specific things like learning in seminary, learning in church, learning at school, and hearing these different stories about people that had gone through very hard things. Like I remember there's the story of a guy that he was in the hospital, and I can't remember if he like lost his arm or if there was just some crazy stuff that happened, and everyone wondered like, how can you smile every single day? You just seem to always smile every single day. And what he said is that happiness is a choice. I choose to smile every single day because I know that that's going to help me be happier. And so to me, I really feel like that throughout my life, I've heard these experiences. I've tried out, obviously, I guess, just tried out myself, how do I want to live my life and what makes me happy and what is the best way to live my life. And I've noticed that when I try to smile and I look at the positive things, then I truly am much happier, And so it's interesting because sometimes I'll have a conversation with someone and they're being super negative. And I do want to throw that out there too. Like, it's not always easy for me to be super positive. There's times when it's been really hard for me to be positive, especially about myself. And maybe you feel like that too. Maybe that, hey, you look at the good in others, but for you don't feel like that all the time. You see your faults, you see the things that you're doing wrong, and you're not, hitting those expectations that you want to do. And so it's a difficult thing for you. And so anyways, hopefully you resonate with that, because I definitely have those moments as well. But in general, I really try to just be positive and just to smile about things. And it's made a massive impact on my life. But like I was saying, though, sometimes I'm chatting with somebody and they're being super negative, right? And, I have my moments too, but I'm just saying when I'm talking to someone super negative, like it's really hard for me to understand sometimes, to really understand, like, I just saying certain things about yourself or about the situation, I'm like, does that help at all? Like, what's the point of even saying that? And going down that route of being negative, whether that's about yourself or about your situation, or like, 2020, I feel like there's a lot of people that were just like, man, life sucks. We're just going to continue to like talk about how we can't do anything. And yet there's others that are just doing amazing things and growing their businesses and doing all sorts of great things in 2020, right? When it's, same circumstances. And so it's just one of those things that I feel like negativity in general just really doesn't help. And so I think it's really important for us to know that negativity sucks and that we should just try to think differently. We should try to be more positive because it will allow us to actually, see life in a different, light, and be able to have more joy in that type of stuff. Because for me, it has made a massive impact, and it's made it so much better to be able to be happy and things like that. And I was thinking about this, like why is negativity so prevalent? Why are there so many people that are negative? And again, not that we're like labeling people, but people that just like in general are looking at life in a negative way. And, I think that like misery loves company, right? When we have these negative things and then we go chat about it with other people, it's like we kind of get in this rut and we get stuck in that place of just like, oh, everything sucks, right? And I think for all of us, we can have those moments, right? And that's totally part of life, is having these different things and going through that. But one of the things that I'm proud of and I'm grateful for that I've been able to continue to do and continue to work on is I feel like the more that I work on myself, the more that I try to look to the positive and be an optimist, that the more that I'm able to have shorter moments of negativity, if that makes sense. And I don't know if you've seen that in yourself before, but I've just noticed like even something that maybe bothered me like 6 months ago, it hasn't, maybe it took a whole day like away from different things. Like I just felt like sad and negative and wasn't really sure what to do and just was really down on myself and on life. But then noticing that even a few months later that I'm able to shorten that time, that, something happens and maybe it is difficult for a minute, but it's like having the ability to step back and look at this objectively, and also to turn negative into positive. Like that's a really powerful thing too, because when one door closes, another one opens. And so I think that's a great reminder for all of us, is to do that, to really make sure that we continue to look to the positive. Because I got an email yesterday saying, some negative news, for me. But what's interesting is when I heard that, it actually was exciting to me. It actually was something I'm like, what? I'm actually grateful for this because, as I do events, I put one on once a month, have done that and love, summits, challenges, live events and things like that. Right now, I'm really focusing on these like mini summits, what I'm calling them. So a mini live event essentially. And so it's been a lot of fun and I'm super excited about it, but I've helped other people with this as well. And so that was the thing yesterday when I realized, oh, this bad thing happened. I won't get into all the details about that, but it was just kind of like somewhere that I was thinking about, anyways, yeah, I won't go into all the details, but what I just realized though afterwards is like, this is a great opportunity. And this gives me more motivation to really focus more on helping other people with their events. Like I mentioned, we talk about faith, family, and impact on this show. And so with impact, that's one way I really want to continue to do that, is to help people with events. And I know I have people asking me all the time, well, like, Dustin, what about this? What about that? How do you find speakers? Like all these different things. And so it just was a moment of, this was a negative thing that happened. I could have just said, oh man, this sucks. Let's just have a bad day. Let's just like not enjoy life anymore because this bad thing happened to me. Or I could flip it around. And that's what I did yesterday. I was like, you know what? Like I'm actually grateful this happened because now it gives me more fuel to even do the thing that I really want to do, right? Like I love making an impact on people's lives. And I know that with this show, with these summits, and by helping other people with their events, that I can do some amazing things. So I'm super excited to be able to, jump back into that a little bit more because I've been, just figuring things out. And so it's been fun, but I'm grateful to be able to share this journey with you, and I appreciate you being here. And so, just the takeaway from today is really just like, see what you can do to look to the positive. And in the future, I actually do want to talk about, how, always looking for the silver lining is maybe sometimes a problem, but anyways, we'll dive into some of that, as well. But in general, like, I mean, and I guess actually let's just talk about it just so you don't have to like be like, what I'm gonna, but like, I think the thing is with like looking for the silver lining, the silver lining is just like when something bad happens, like finding that good little piece, kind of like I did yesterday, right? Realizing that something didn't work out, but then I decided, you know what? I'm going to make this a positive. I'm actually going to double down on events and the different things that I'm working on. But the thing that I would say with that is that the only caveat that I would say is with the silver lining is if you're always looking for that silver lining and then that is deterring you from the things that you're trying to do, right? Like with the first What Matters Most mini summit, I guess it was the Faith to Impact mini summit, which I did last month. The turnout wasn't as big as I thought. And had I looked at that and said, okay, well, hey, it wasn't as big as I thought, but it was more than, I had before, right? Because I hadn't done the Faith to Impact version of that I could have decided, but like, that's fine. I'm not going to continue on with my goals. Right. But that's something that's super important to not like allow that to happen. You know what I mean? But anyway, so that's the only thing with like the silver lining. But anyways, in general, all I'm trying to say is that negativity sucks. And so just don't do it, right? Like really find a way that you can smile every day and you can look to the positive, because the more that you do that, the more that you'll be able to continue to push forward and continue to see the progress that you really want to have, see the impact that you want to make. And so really appreciate you tuning in and checking this out. As a reminder too, Monday is when we'll be kicking off the next What Matters Most mini summit. Oh, it's going to be so fun. We have 6 speakers this time. I've been highlighting them on social media. And so I'm super excited to be able to put this amazing event on. And just for you to be uplifted, inspired by these amazing speakers. It's so much fun to put these on, and I just can't wait for next week to do it. So make sure you go register, faithtoimpact.com/mini summit. We'll see you there. It'll be a lot of fun. So faithtoimpact.com/mini summit. The link's here too, but I would love to see you there. It'd be so much fun, and really do this for you. Like, don't do it for me, do it for you, because you want to be uplifted and inspired. I mean, my thing is, I know that this is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to scale. We'll continue to get a lot more people. I really am hoping that by the end of the year, we have at least 10,000 people through these summits. So I'm super excited. And, all I'm trying to say is like, there's going to be people there. They will be there, but are you going to be there? Are you going to decide this is the time when I can focus on what matters most? Because don't put it off, right? We all know we should be doing certain things. So let's like turn it into like a must. Let's do something about it right now. So thanks again for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And we will catch you next time.